welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing another book review, and it's on Eternal Kiss of Darkness. And this is the vampire series that I've been reading, that I've been doing book reviews on. And guys, so this is technically the 7th book in the line of the vampire series that I've been reading. And you see I've already entered it in, ready to go to help me with this video. Okay, so this is about Mercari, and he's Bones's grandsire, so like his vampire grandpa. This is about him, and it's still in the same order as like what's been happening with Bones and then Spade, because it even quotes and talks about some things in those other first books of what happened with Bones and then Spade, and Spade's book as well. So yeah, you need to read them mostly in order. The only one that I didn't was the 5th book, and that's because it was a ebook and I didn't have it yet, but I just actually paid for that last night, so I started reading. I read like chapter 1 and that one's called One for the Money, and that one's a Bones and Cat story as well. But I think she wrote that after she wrote like the books, and then she wrote the ebooks later and put them in where they're supposed to go in the chronological order. But so it didn't really mess up like everything still made perfect sense. So anyway, so this one, Eternal Kiss of Darkness, 7th book. Like I said, it's about Mercari, and he is a very powerful vampire. You learn a lot about him in this book. You learn like you've heard about what he looks like before, like he's got like dark eyes, long black hair. He's Middle Eastern looking, and you find out that he was one of the ancient pharaohs with one of the pyramids as like his grandfather, I think it was like the great Khufu with the great grand pyramid. That's the one that Khufu built. So he was like that time, and he talks a lot about all that. But so he's like 4,000 years old, and because of that, he's got lots of power. Plus, the vampire that sired him was very old and had lineage power. So, and that power they can pass down, but it can't be like any vampire can drink off of them and get their power. They have to will their power in their blood while someone's drinking them. So they have to choose to give someone that lineage power. And he was the one that his sire chose to give him that lineage power. And that made his uncle really mad, because his uncle was a vampire as well. Because he's all about power, and so he's really upset that Mercari's got it instead of him. And they've been in this feud all these years. And in the last couple books, it's been talking about how Mercari has lost his ability to locate people and to see into the future. And he doesn't know why, but he just thinks, because all he sees is darkness, is that his impending death is coming. So he's like working on getting things ready so Bones can take over his line. So his line is good and his people are good, because he cares very much for his people and his line and life. And so he's getting all that prepared. But in the beginning of the book, he basically walked into these really young ghouls and was letting them torture him, basically, as they were going to kill him, and he was going to let them. And at first I thought it was because he's trying to get information from them, but no, he was basically committing suicide, because he was like, rather than waste time, I should just meet my death, and that way my uncle, his name is Rad something like that, It's Radje, Raja, something. Rather than give him time to like put things up against Bones to try to manipulate Mercari to give him his lineage power before he dies, which is what he's after. And so he's like, that would be like the ultimate make him upset, because he's already given his lineage power to Bones as his heir. So he's already passed it on. So he's just like, it's just best for me to, you know, accept it and do it before he knows. But then a human's like hears, and she stumbles, and she kind of goes back to save him. And she was going to be a cop, but then I'm not going to tell you everything of why she didn't become a cop, because I don't want to spoil everything. But it had to do with the past relationship that happened. But her motto that she got from like her mentor that was a cop that like helped her and stuff was save one life. And so when she heard, she called the cops, but then she knew it was going to take them a while. Like, all she heard was moaning and some sick laughter. And so she knew something bad was going on. But she's like, it's going to take them a while to get there. And that save one life motto went through. And she's like, I got to go help whoever it is. So she went and had the gun and was trying to help. And Mercari realized, I can't let the ghouls kill her, because she's like the first and only person that's like come to actually try to rescue me without any reason other than to save me and help me. And because keeps talking about throughout the whole book, everyone has always wanted something from him, even people he loves and who loves him. Like, there's always something that people want from him, like power, lust, favors, like no matter what it is. It's just no one's ever like just helped or loved him just to help him or just to love him. And so he was touched by that, and so he helped her. And by doing that, he obviously didn't commit suicide, but then he ended up holding her for a week because he tried to erase her memory of it, and he realized he couldn't. And so he held her for a week, thinking maybe it's because I healed her with my blood, because she got hurt by the ghouls. Like she was going to die, and he saved her. But so he's like, let's wait out a week because my blood is very potent, and then I'll erase her mind and let her go. And he told her this. And so they kept spending time together and talking and all this kind of stuff during this week. And she realized she was, you know, getting feelings, but she's like, I can't, because he's my captor. And he's like, I can't have feelings for her, even though I do. And I'm like drawn to her because I see my death coming. Like, that's a cruel joke. I can't do that. And the only woman he ever loved was Patra, his evil wife, that he ended up having to kill in like the fourth Bones book. And that devastated him, and he was like celibate for like 900 years because he was separated from his wife and didn't want to endanger anybody by her finding out that he was sleeping with someone that she could rightfully kill, because that's like vampire law. So he's like, it's a cruel joke. I can't like do that. I'm gonna like end things after she's mind is erased, because she helped me without wanting anything in return, so I'm gonna do the same. And which is rare for a vampire. They always expect something. So after a week, he realized she was naturally immune, one of the rare humans that was to mind control. And like, it's extremely rare. So he because he'd gotten to know her, decided to, like he said, trust her, and he just let her go. And that's when she realized she had real feelings for him. And he also let her go with like enough of his blood for her to give to her sister, because her sister had syphilis, or not syphilis, CF. It's a disease. I can't remember what it's called, but it's where the lungs fills up with mucus and stuff. So anyway, she was doing really poorly, but he gave her enough of his blood that she was doing well, and he gave her enough vials to basically give her a normal human life. And he did this and just let her go and said, just don't talk about anything. Don't let anyone know, because then you can die and your family can die. But then she realized she had feelings for him, and so she tried to seek him out through cases and stuff that she dismissed before, that realized maybe there's something to it now that I know about this other world. And so she went to this strip club, and was looking for this girl that was missing, but more looking for him, and then found this girl and was talking to her, and then the other vampires heard and started torturing her to find out who she worked for and stuff. And then she's like, I'm just here to try to help her, and there was a case, and I'm a detective. But then finally they tortured her enough that she gave Mercari's name, and then they're like, oh crap, what, you belong to him? And so then they had to call to finally get through to him, like call vampire after vampire to get a direct line to him. And Mercari said, hold on, I'm coming, after he found out it was Kira. And they're like, oh crap, he's coming here. And so he came, and then his uncle Raja showed up as well. And he basically, Kira did something that basically, because she was his property and was trying to steal another vampire's property, broke the law. Kind of a thing. And she made it worse for herself by trying to stand up for Mercari's. And so Raja, he's like a cop basically for vampires. It's called a law guardian. And he sentenced her to death for it and said, I'll do it, or you can do it, Mercari. So Mercari said, okay, I'll do it, but there's nothing against me bringing her back. So then he was forced to turn her into a vampire, because he couldn't just leave her dead. And it took her a little bit to get over that and to forgive him for that. But after a while she did. And he helped her through her whole being a new vampire. And the relationship kept blooming and growing strong. And kept finding out more about each other and their past lives. And he even was very honest with her about past things he'd done. And so she knew, but then she would ask questions, he'd answer them, and find out that he wasn't like a cold-blooded killer. He always had a reason to protect himself or his loved ones from someone. It was never, there was only one time it was for a selfish reason, but she still found out, like, she admitted it was wrong what he did, but he still had reason to do it. Anyway, so she falls madly in love with him, and then he gets framed by his uncle for like burning down the strip club, and that girl she was trying to help was missing, and all the vampires were killed and stuff. And then they sent like enforcers after to get them to force them to law guardians to confess. But then he escapes from them, but then they try to pin one of the enforcers' death on him. But his signature way to kill is with his power to rip heads off, not to stab them. And this one, the head was ripped off, but it was also stabbed, like it looked like behind the back in the heart. And so they're like, that was weird. Like the law guardian that knew him and Raja, that was made by the same maker as them, thought that was really weird. And later on she met with him and like talked to him and everything. Said, if you help get proof to clear your name, I'll fully believe you. And so that's what the rest of the book is about, is him and Kira finding a way to clear his name. So he's not sentenced to death, because now he has something to live for, which is Kira. And he ended up doing some more black magic in this one. And he talked to like an ancient Egyptian god, the one that's on the ferry that takes you to the next life, and to find out where she was, because locating magic isn't working. And he's like, you have 24, like till sunset or sunrise, to either give me someone as your replacement or I'm coming for you, because my ferry never leaves empty. So he said, okay, fair enough. So he went and they did their plan, and they were able to do it on the phone to show Raja that his plan failed, that all the guardians now knew that he was the one behind everything. And he was furious, and Mencheres is like, Kira's safe, because he also kidnapped Kira, but then Kira escaped, and then Mencheres showed up. And I'm not going to ruin everything. You need to read the book. There's a lot in this book that's amazing. But anyway, then he marks him with the same blade that the Egyptian god gave him, and so he came for his soul and took him. And then when he was leaving, he said, like Raja, not Mencheres, and he then said to Mencheres, did you find your darkness? And he's like, what? And he's like, Kira. And then he occurred to him that her name in like Gaelic, I think, or Celtic or something like that, means darkness. And that's when he realized that his visions, the darkness he was seeing, it was her. It wasn't his death. It was her. She was coming. And she was like his soulmate. He said even more so than Patra. Patra was just after his power and wealth and all that, and knowledge. And Kira wasn't after any of that. She just wanted Mencheres, and she made it so clear constantly. I just want you. I don't care about anything else. I want you. And she's like, obviously I have my siblings in my life that I love and I'm be part of, but I don't want anything from you, just your love. And so he thought that was incredibly like strange. He never experienced that before, and from someone like her that he saw as like holy and angelic and just such a good person. And he just couldn't believe that he won her love, but he did, and she won his love. And so in the end, they're very much in love. They're both vampires, and she is actually very amazing, even as a new vampire. And then he did give her some of his lineage power at the end, because of their plan and stuff, to help give her strength so she wouldn't get killed, basically, because he loves her, doesn't want anything to happen to her. But even then, she's got so much determination, and she's all about not hurting or killing anyone. Like, she values life, all life, human life, vampire life. Like, she values it, and he values it, and that's what kind of like they both appreciate that about each other. So yeah, anyway, it's a very good book. There's a lot of like excitement and thrill and twists and turns and romance. There's a lot of amazing things in this book, actually. So yeah, I hope you guys read this book and the series as well. Amazing series. So good. Love it. And as you know right now, like I just said, I'm reading the 5th book, technically now the ebook. It's the 5th one in the line of books. It's called One for the Money, and it's a Bones and Cat, and I've only read chapter 1 so far, but yeah, so I'll be doing a review on that here soon. And yeah, I hope you subscribe, hit the like button, ring the bell, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye guys.